I decided to try to keep gathering information about the change that I recently made, taking out Mana Leak and putting in Supreme Verdict there. So played a few more games for the evening, and two of them stood out as being worthy of recording. The first one is this one here, in which I lost a dice roll and I'm playing against Orion Blade. And looking at this hand here, this is not a keeper. Even if this was Mana Leak, it certainly wouldn't be a keeper. So I take a mulligan. I mean, there's a risk here. If I did draw a black source, this hand is incredibly good, but I didn't feel like taking that risk. So I mulligan into not a keeper, mulligan into, nope, that doesn't have anything going for it, into this. So triple mulligan, going second. And we'll see how this game plays out. So, top deck Trinket Mage off the top, and boy, was Brian ever right about Trinket Mage. His card's been, I even though I have Humility in here, it's just Demonic Tutor for something broken every time. Way too good. Way too good. So, um, turn one Trinket Mage into Soul Ring with Staff of Nin in my hand is pretty good. And I thought like right here I was just gonna go ahead and get down with Staff, but I realized I was a little bit shy, so set myself up this way. Turn two, I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 mana plus 3 for later in play. And turn 3, I play top, activate top so I can get an Opal out, cast Staff, kill his 2/1, and then he hybridizes it, making a 1/1 and a 3/3. That's fine. And on his turn, he kills my guy, but he misclicks and only. What the? That that is not at all what happened. Flames of the Firebrand targeting Trinket Mage for 18 million and me for 77 million. Look at this. Wow. Go home, Magic the Gathering Online, you are drunk. Anyway, bottom line is what actually happened is he killed my guy, hit me for some damage. I start shooting his elemental, drawing 2 cards per turn, and quickly overrun him with card advantage and win off of a triple mulligan. That's what actually happened. Although if Flames of the Firebrand could do 77 billion or whatever that is, then I suppose people would play it a little bit more often, including me. Sorry, that game sucked, but we'll move on to game 2. Hopefully this one doesn't have a similar glitch. So game 2, I'm playing against Marith, Will of the Wild, piloted by this Tono 84362. I've got a great hand, and yet again, Trinket Mage here to be insane. And I draw Supreme Verdict, so we'll see if that comes in handy. So first turn I go ahead and just search for Imperial Seal so I can get turn 2 Well of Lost Dreams down. It was a debate between that or using Trinket Mage. If I could Trinket right there for Mana Crypt and cast Sewell, I would have, but you come up one short. I think, let's see, blue and 3 for Trinket, leaving 1 floating. Oh no, I just straight up misplayed. Blue and 3 for Trinket, leaving 1 floating, getting Mana Crypt, play Crypt, cast Well. Well, that would have been better. Oops. So I draw 2 cards here, find no land off of any of the 3 cards there. My opponent plays this thing, which is amazing. This card is so good. I love it. It's a reason to play red. Like this right here makes me want to play green-red just because of how great this card is. If I ever were to rebuild the 5-color Queen deck, this would absolutely be in it. The fact that this has a Gaia's Cradle as it grows, it lets you constantly Gaia's Cradle, and then it produces hasted creatures. This thing is just badass all around. Super, like, it's such a cool card that like I said, it makes me want to play green red just so I can play this card because it's that badass. Anyway, and it will kill other planeswalkers. That's the other cool thing about it, spitting out hasted 2/2s. So during my upkeep, I draw 1, and then go ahead and Vampiric Tutor after I see what I draw, fetching the Mana Crypt that I should have used Trinket Mage to get, but that's okay. Instead, I used Trinket Mage to go get Soul Ring. Either way, I'm just a little bit behind though because I misplayed earlier. So he gets Mirari's Wake out. So now he's kicking out 3/3 hasted dorks. and has but tons of mana over there. But he's down to only 2 cards in hand, so for my turn I play Soul Ring, attack his guy, figuring he probably won't trade a 2/2 who produces mana and also mana with his ability. He'll probably just take the 2 damage off his thing, and he does. And then after he takes the 2 damage, I go ahead and cast Dark Tutelage and say go. I was thinking that if he didn't +1 this, there might be a way that I could tap all of his guys and then just attack and kill this thing next turn, but he does +1 it, so that option's kind of out. Plays Assemble the Legion there, seems pretty good. In fact, he's taking big chunks of damage off me, and I've got other things, 1, 2, 3 different cards dealing damage to me as well. And this is starting to, add up and become a problem. And then he plays Inferno Titan, becomes even worse of a problem. But fortunately, only some of the damage is dealt to me since he takes down the Trinket Mage, which I agree with. But here, I was thinking about rifting, but I don't really want to put an Inferno Titan back in his hand. So what I do is set myself up with the Wrath first, and then just play the map and say go. He assembles some legions, casts his command, Parallel Lives, so he gets to put double the tokens into play now off of his guy there, very cool, and then plays his commander who I tuck. He sends in for massive amounts of damage again. Actually, stuff's starting to really add up. I get hit with Future Sight. Draw some cards. And finally, go ahead and just cast Rift before messing around any further. And then just say go. So now I've got, he's down to just the 5 cards in hand. But they're all slow, hopefully. And we know that the card he drew was a land because he had no cards in hand, and Rift doesn't bounce lands. So he's got Parallel Lives, Planeswalker, Assemble the Legion, and whatever that other card was, I forget. Maybe an elf. Mirari's Wake. So now this is the nice thing about having cleared away all of his mana dorks. He's down to just expensive things. So of course he plays Wake first, and I just forbid with buyback, discarding Staff and Future Sight, something you don't see too often, but with a Well out, don't really need them, especially Well and Tutelage. Although that Tutelage is starting to become a real issue for me, and I'm starting to think about how can I get it off the table, especially now. So trying to work around the tutelage, I go ahead and just leap with it on the stack. I Mystical Tutor from Mind Twist, and I talked about this before, how the combination of Mind Twist and Rift is basically like a crazy one-sided destruction of everything they've got. Absolutely love it. Solves all problems. Multiple planeswalkers and who knows what. So anyway, I then Mystical for Teachings, because I'm planning to find a way to kill this before it kills me. And on his turn he plays doesn't matter, we bug out. Okay, great. So on his turn he plays something. I think it was Lynn Vala, Keeper of Silence. Yeah, 4 mana. I go ahead and forbid that with buyback. I throw away land tax and copy artifact, keeping my Crucible and my Teachings. And then during my upkeep, I take a bunch of damage and drop down to like 6. But I'm able to draw 2 cards, both of which are land. Mystical Teachings for disenchant, and immediately disenchant the Dark Tutelage with still 3 mana available, so that I can forbid with buyback, pitching the 2 lands, which ultimately, are all going to make their way back into play at some point. So on his turn, I'm at 6 life. There's no Dark Tutelage in play. There is a Crypt and a Vault tapped, but of course I'm going to be able to untap the Vault, no problem. So I'm at 6 life and facing down a Mana Crypt, but I've got Oloro, and he decides that he doesn't want to play anymore, running his spells into my Forbid forever and ever. So he gives up, and we never find out if Mana Crypt would have. I don't know if Mana Crypt could. Yeah, I guess it would have taken 6 turns for Mana Crypt, 6 flips in a row, or maybe 8. Yeah, 8 flips in a row, losing them all for Mana Crypt to kill me, which is basically impossible. So there's no way he would have won. And of course, I could have found an answer for that if it looked like I needed one. So I just thought those were pretty good games. Too bad, as usual, the recorder bugs out and the game doesn't. You guys don't get to see the full impact of the game, but hopefully the description was enough to entertain. And I do hope you enjoyed it. And it turned out that game that Supreme Verdict was useful. So good. That's a +1 for the verdict. All right, well that's it for now. I'll see you next time, and thanks.